back, Laura Diaz.
Good morning, and I'm Steve Edwards. Coming up today, next live right here on AM Twiggy. She's got a new project, and an even newer husband. No wonder she's smiling. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. There it is. We'll talk about it.
And we'll also talk to Kitty Carlisle Hart about her 23 years on To Tell the Truth. Remember that one? Get a great and easy recipe for macaroon cookies and take a look at La Caja Full Fashion Show. You have to see it to believe it. Trust me.
Plus, how is your sex life? How is your sex
You want
life?
me to answer that?
If it lacks the vim, vigor, zip, and zest it once had, there is hope, and it may be no farther than your refrigerator. We'll explain all of that when we come back. Go Dodgers! We'll see you in just a moment.
People are anxious. They have questions they want to ask before they see a dentist. That's why people call 1-800-DENTIST rather than look in the phone book. It makes sense. I can tell you how long they've been practicing, where they went to school, what special training they have. We have a lot of confidence in the dentists in our service. I mean, I do. I have to because I refer them to people all day long. You tell me where you live and I'll find you a great dentist. 1-800-DENTIST, may I help you?
I like honesty, not hype. And I like pure and simple, not artificial. So why would I settle for anything less than Treetop? You know, not all fruit juices are 100% pure. Treetop is. 100%. No added sugar, nothing artificial. Just apples and other real fruit in 5 new flavors. So read the label on those other juices. You'll see why I like Treetop.
New Treetop fruit juices. We always give you 100%.
The victim. The criminals.
They solicited the rape.
The system.
He won't plead guilty to a sexual offense.
Now drop it. You've got more important things to do.
The attorney.
What are you gonna do, fire me? Go right ahead. I will put you on the stand and cross-examine you on every sleazy plea bargain this office ever made.
Kelly McGillis.
Are you scared? Yes.
Jodie Foster.
Me too.
The Accused. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 14th at a theater near you.
Black-Jewish relations on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Live from Hollywood, it's AM with Steve Edwards and guest host Laura Diaz.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. Good morning. As you know, Christina continues her vacation. She is a consultant to both the Republicans and the Democrats, and they're meeting at her house to decide how the debate should go tonight, so she's not here.
A few quick notes.
But look who's here. Now, here's somebody you don't ordinarily see on this show. You see her on the news all the time, and what a pleasure for us to get you to know a little more about Laura Diaz. Good morning.
Nice to be here.
Good to have you here. But before we do anything else, can we gloat for a moment? Can we have a wonderful time?
Yes.
Did the Dodgers, the Cinderella team, the team that was picked to finish 4th in their division, not only win their division, but win the National League pennant last night? 6-0. Did I pull this team through? Let's go to some of the highlights. The last moment of the game last night, Orel Hershiser pitching himself into the record books. Last batter he is facing. It is the top of the 9th inning. Here's the pitch. It is all over. Down on his knees giving thanks. Now Mike Scioscia will knock him over. Here comes the team. The most dangerous part of the game is happening here.
After you win a game like that, they run you over on the field.
Not only the players, but you never see this. And Dodger fans are very laid back. You know that. About 2,000 of them ran out on the field, and I started fearing for Orel's life.
Sure.
So we're all running over there I was hoping they'd bounce off of Tommy, not Orel, so that nobody would get hurt. Yes.
He was a hero. Orel was awesome. I mean, really, you have to agree with me. The guy is wonderful.
And when you look at him, is he not Huck Finn?
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah. Excuse me. Yes.
We have a phone call?
A phone call?
Phone call, yeah.
A phone call? Hello?
Yeah. Hello there.
Hi. Who is this?
Is this Stephen Laura?
Yeah.
Wrong number. This is Don Sanchez and Susan Sikora at Good Morning Bay Area, San Francisco. How you doing?
You say Don Sanchez and Susan Sikora. Good morning, Bay Area up there in San Francisco. Is that what you said?
That's what he said. Listen, we have a baseball team up here, a rather successful baseball team, I might add, and they're headed your way. The A's, of course, are going to defeat the Dodgers in 4 straight games.
No. You got it all wrong.
Excuse me. I don't want to get chauvinistic about this, but are you talking about the Oakland A's who used Dave Stewart and Bob Welch and Rick Honeycutt from the Dodgers to win the pennant this year?
GM to get those players. But yeah, they're ready to rock and roll there at Chavez.
Yeah, I think they're going to do it. So what do you say? What do you guys say? You want to make a little bet on this?
A little bet? Laura, a little bet? Hey, I'll tell you what. Oakland certainly is position by position the better team. Nobody suggests that they're not. But the Dodgers, as Tommy Lasorda said, they're a team of destiny. Give me my linguine. He said they are a team of destiny.
They have heart. They have an incredible ability.
They're going to wind up losing 4 games straight. That's their destiny.
Hey, okay. Hey, Sanchez. Hey, Mr. Big Talk. We're, you know, first of all, I want to say hello to Susan and say thank you for being such a great host to us and allowing us to use your studios when we were up there. Thank you. You have a great audience and great folks there. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Now, enough for saying that. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet?
Excuse me?
What do you want to bet?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Well, we have, we're big on sourdough bread lately. We have a lot
Sourdough
of
bread, yeah.
So we'll have nice sourdough bread. How about
Yes.
some sourdough bread? How about some mouth-watering gear jelly chocolate?
Judo talking.
Now they're
The other
talking.
treasure from Northern California, of course. So how about a case of Domaine Chandon champagne from the Napa Valley?
What do you think?
Wait a minute.
Sounding better all the
Wait a
time.
minute. You win. No. Okay, I'll tell you what. Since you're doing those.
If by some fluke the Dodgers should win, that's what you get. Now, what are you going to
What do we
start
come up
rapping?
with, Steve?
Wait, this is what we have. This is what we have for you. We have for you 5 bushels of bean sprouts. We have.
Down there.
You talk about. You
5
talk.
bushels of bean sprouts. That'll go with the lobsters if we ever get them.
No.
Very Southern California.
You talk about champagne. 4 quarts carrot juice, freshly squeezed. And wait a minute. There's more.
This is your last shot. This better be good.
This is pretty exciting, and we're going to guarantee it. 10 pounds of Christina's homemade pasta.
As long as you does it al dente. Okay?
All right,
So if you're sending it to another Italian up here, I'm going to check.
It's true, yeah. We're going to send her driver al dente up with the pasta if that happens. Now, you guys, you have a lot of gall calling us here, but you're also great folks, so we're glad that you called. Again, Oakland will be heavily favored to win this. They've got a Jose Canseco by himself could probably win, but the Dodgers.
Well, I like an honest man.
But the Dodgers,
It's our fate.
the Dodgers are a team of destiny. Okay, Susan.
We'll be talking to you real soon.
Take care, Susan and Don. We'll be checking with you every day, and we'll enjoy the champagne. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, that's our sister station up there. Good morning, Bay Area. And nice folks, and we're going to win this bet from them. Now, as we are continuing on in the sports vein here, we want to remind you once more that not only is the World Series coming up, but the AMLA All-Stars versus the Surf All-Stars, the big game.
The big game.
You know what it is? We are going to be playing against
so
all
big.
these stars from television. Our AM All-Star team will be playing against their team, which is called the Surf All-Stars, right there at Cerritos College, October 22nd, which is a week from Saturday at 1 o'clock. All the proceeds go to cystic fibrosis. That's the important thing. But let me tell you about who's going to be there. Some of your favorite soap stars, including Jeremy from All My Children, and Palmer Cartland from One Life to Live.
There he is.
And Max, and Cord Buchanan from General Hospital, and Duke Lavery. Remember, you can get tickets through Ticketron. We got a number to call right there, 410-1062, or you can show up at the gate. We have 11,000 seats available this time. We're not going to turn anybody away. We have a great time. Of course, we've got a lot of stars on our team. Christina will be back to be at the game, and we'll all be there. You're going to come too, right?
You bet.
You've
Wouldn't
got to
miss
be there.
it.
So come on, it's a great day, and we have a wonderful time. Please call or show up at Cerritos College
You
Stadium.
been practicing?
No. I mean, why change the tradition here?
Maybe you're a team of destiny.
We've won. We're 2 out of 2.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
There you
that's
there you
strange
have
enough.
it.
Before we go to our guest list, as a person who's a news person, as a reporter, the event today at Pauley Pavilion tonight,
Right.
the debate is one that has to interest you a great deal. And I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but if you were one of the reporters on the panel, what is the question you would ask, and to whom would you ask it? What is the burning question for you?
You really sprung this one
This
on
is
me.
like I'm putting you in a debate situation. Yeah. What would you do?
Well, I think one of the questions that I would want to ask about In the case of the Democrats, a lot of people have said this should be the year for the Democrats. This should have been the year that they had a clear victory. And if Michael Dukakis cannot pull it out, then it is clearly saying something about his campaign. And if they can't do it this year, they don't deserve to have it at all. And how would he respond to that?
We will get that question asked tonight. Somebody get it
Sure.
over there. On the program today, you talk about presidential debates and World Series. We have an easy recipe for macaroon cookies. Yay! Whoa! Kitty Carlisle has had such an exceptional life. Will be with us. You know her from To Tell the Truth for all those years. We have a special fashion show from La Cage à Fall, and we can show you how to better your sex life or to have a better sex life. What segment is that? I want to watch that.
I think that's coming up pretty soon here.
Thank you, especially for the people in row 2 and 3. And if you look at what you are doing in your life and some things you can change to enhance your sex life, we'll be showing you that. But our very first guest this morning is a woman who, as a teenager, became incredibly famous. She was the ultimate sign of the swinging London back there in the late 60s. She made everybody reevaluate how their bodies looked. She was about as famous as you can get. But boy, she has grown and changed. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Twiggy. Twiggy.
Hi.
How are you? Good to see you.
Hello. Thank you.
Do you hate talking about those days, or do you like it?
I'm not, yeah, I hate talking about it because that's always the first thing that somebody I know. As long as I don't spend the whole.
And we're not.
I've just talked about it so
But you know what I
many
want to
times.
ask you? That I would want to ask somebody who's gone through what you've gone through. You were what, 17 years old?
16 and a half when it started, 17 when I came here.
Did you have any idea at that time what was happening to you?
I didn't plan to model. What happened to me was
and
as
the
much a
response,
surprise to me as to everybody else in the world.
Were you emotionally ready to handle it?
I don't know. I loved it when I did it because up until then I'd been going to school. When it happened to me, I mean, I was absolutely agog. I thought they were all mad. Suddenly all these people were taking my photograph, and I'd grown up being terribly shy, terribly insecure because I was very skinny and boys used to tease me. And if I could have had a fairy godmother, I'd have asked to look like Brenda Lee, And then suddenly this whole thing happened to me. It was
like
bizarre,
Brenda
actually.
Lee.
Well, it's a slightly different shape than I was.
You were, the operative word, I guess, was skinny.
I was skinny, very skinny.
How tall?
5'6½", which I still am.
What did you weigh then?
About 92 pounds.
92. And what do you weigh now, just so we
About
get it?
114. That's a good weight for me,
Is it a comfortable
actually.
weight for you?
Yeah. Funny enough, I used to eat it. I mean, I always got blamed for making people starve. I ate more than most people I know, and nothing happened. I desperately wanted to put weight on.
Lucky woman.
But it changes, as you get older, and after I had my daughter, your metabolism changes.
So the word anorexia did not apply to you.
Oh no, I was very healthy and ate like a horse.
And yet everybody wanted to look like you. Every young girl, every teenager in America and in Europe wanted to look like you. I can remember as a kid watching you in the Yardley commercials during the Monkees. And of course, I was never going to look like you, but I wanted to. And I have to ask you one thing, because I can recall my older sister, she used to put the little lines here, the eyelashes that she'd draw very painstakingly. Did you do that yourself? Or did
Yeah, well, I had
do
a doll at home. And I was 15, 16, and you were mucking about with makeup, and then when the whole kind of thing happened to me, that's how I used to paint. I used to wear 3 pairs of eyelashes and paint those twiggy lines underneath.
Did you notice that Laura said she had an older sister who did that?
Well, not much. Well, she was a child when she got into it.
I was very young.
Now, your career has moved apace. It started changing when you did the film, I guess, The Boyfriend with Ken Russell, and you've worked hard to pay your dues to be looked at as not only just a momentary fashion freak, but to be a real performer.
That's right.
And then something happened. You ran into a guy. What were you shooting at this time? Were you making a movie when you met him?
What, met Lee?
Yes.
No, we actually did this movie Suzatska together, but we've actually been together for 3 years. We met through, as Lee says, we met through Jesus in the shape of Robert Powell, who played Jesus in
It's a nice way to meet
Jesus of Nazareth.
And when did you make him an honest man? When did you marry this guy?
We got married 2.5 weeks ago in Sag Harbor.
I'll tell you what, let me hold the applause. Because husband Lee Lawson, who's a fine actor, you saw him in the movie Test, among other things, is here. And we're going to bring him out. We'll find out how the marriage is going. Lee Lawson, come on out. Good morning, Lee.
Hello, wife.
Hi, husband.
Sounds official.
You know, if you spend a few minutes with us, that's a major part of your marriage.
That's right.
What about her? Any surprises since you've been married?
Not since we've been married. No, all the surprises happened beforehand. No, she's pretty much what I expected in a wife, I think.
What made you guys decide to get married after all that time?
Well, we'd been trying, you know. I mean, I'd asked her to be my wife some time ago, and then I said, okay, now just leave it with me, and I'll arrange everything. And then either a film would come up for Twigs or for me, and something would get in the way, you know. And I rang Gretna Green, which is a place in England where you can elope and get married very quickly. And I said, we'd like to get married next week, because I knew we'd got a weekly. And she said, oh, no, you can't get married in a week now. You have to wait for 3 months. And I said, well, you know, it's rather an emergency. No, you can't jump the queue. And so, you know, I then knew that we were coming over to talk about Suzatska in America. And I thought, if I can just get a week before that, I can arrange it all in our favourite house in Sag Harbor at Tony Walton's house, where we stayed last fall. And I can do all the arrangements, and it's pretty set. So that's what I went ahead and did.
All he told me was that we were getting married in New York, and he said, but you must not ask any questions. And it nearly drove me mad.
It's a statement,
I'm
not a
really,
question.
That is not in your nature not to ask questions.
No, I'm really nosy. And he kept it a secret from me, for a month, where we were getting married, who was coming.
Well, that's romantic, though, and it really is.
On the morning of the wedding, and I was convinced, he'd said it was just going to be the judge and one witness, and 5 of our closest friends, 3 came in from England and 3 from America. And the doorbell rang, and Lee said, oh, you go, because I'm not quite ready, it's probably the judge. And I went down and opened the door, and he had them all lined up round the house, coming in like 3 minutes. And it was like, well, I just broke down.
I thought I'd gone over the top at that point, because, you know, really, I thought, oh my God, she's going to have a coronary or something, you know, I mean, it was really...
Coronary, that's what we call a coronary over here.
Right.
Yes.
It's probably a very similar thing.
Yes, it is similar.
But she just completely went, and I'd got 3 more surprises around the corner waiting to come, you know, the 3 more guests.
And we got married under a weeping willow tree. It was lovely.
So you weren't disappointed at all?
Oh, no.
Do they say, Lee, do you take this woman Twigs to be your lawful wedded wife?
Well, actually, the judge, who was lovely and who kept our secret as well, because there were only 5 people in the world that knew. Everyone on pain of death was sworn to secrecy, because we wanted it as our day. And he did actually start the ceremony by calling her Leslie, which is her name, and then said, Twigs.
It was really sweet.
Are you legally Twiggy or Leslie Hornsby still?
No. Well, I'm legally Leslie Lawson now.
Say it again?
Leslie.
Legally Leslie Lawson. I think I have the album. Yes.
But I'm actually going to start using Twiggy Lawson, because I think I'm stuck with Twiggy all my life. Yeah. It is a rather ridiculous name, but it's my name that everyone knows me by.
It's your stage name, your professional name.
But I think if I can have the second name with it, it's nicer.
Madame Suzatska is a movie that's already getting great reviews with Shirley MacLaine. You guys, so this is a good note for you to start on, isn't it?
It's wonderful,
in terms of personal relationship and a professional one.
We didn't know the reviews were going to be quite as raves as they were when we got married, of course. But it is rather a nice
start. What's it like to work together? I mean, obviously you're married now, but working together, was that difficult for you?
It was a joy, wasn't it?
It was lovely.
We went to work in the same car, we shared a dressing room. I mean, the problem was rehearsing, because we'd rehearse at home. And it's all right when you're on the set, you know, and the crew's all around you and the director's there, but he's such a sleaze, Ronnie Bloom.
He's my boyfriend,
and he's so horrible to
and he's horrible to me.
Is that when you decided to marry him?
We couldn't get, you know, we'd rehearse at home, we'd get these terrible fits of giggles. I just couldn't, you know, when you're in your home environment, talking to the lady you love and being such a sleaze, it's very hard to do.
It was really funny.
And then we'd panic and think, if we get on the set tomorrow and do this, you know, John Schlesinger's going to go berserk, you know, because we literally couldn't get the lines out. But filming's always so uncomfortable, you know, it's either freezing cold or pouring with rain, in England anyway.
Well, look, we wish you a happy 2.5-week anniversary here.
Thank
you look
you.
very, very happy together. We continue happiness, Twiggy. Lee, thank you very much.
Nice.
There's a lot more coming up. Stay tuned, we'll be back. Coming up next, a very easy recipe for a terrific dessert.
Rent to own America's most popular appliances at Rent-A-Center. Sears Kenmore appliances are consumers' #1 choice. Choose either this large capacity or mini-size Sears Kenmore washer and dryer, or this frost-free refrigerator for only $16.99 a week. There's no credit needed and same-day delivery. Sears Kenmore appliances for only $16.99 a week. Call today.
East of 605 Freeway, call 1-800-572-1111. West of 605, call 1010 for the Rent-A-Center nearest you.
When manufacturers reduce prices to Lucky, we pass the savings on to you as key buys. With over 1,200 key buys every week, it pays to shop Lucky.
Your sandwiches deserve Kraft mayonnaise, regular or light, in 32-ounce jars. Pick up 9 packs of high C drinks in cherry, orange, grape, or fruit punch. And save on 6.5-ounce cans of Star-Kissed albacore tuna packed in water or oil. Lucky, still the low-price leader.
What would you do if you knew Banner Carpets was having a giant weekend half-price sale and you could buy any of these $24.99 carpets for only $12.99? Or these $19.99 carpets for just $9.99? And then you discovered they were all DuPont Stainmaster with stain resistance never before available and warranted by DuPont. What would you do? You'd buy it. Hurry, Banner Carpets giant weekend half-price sale ends Sunday, 5 p.m. Call 213-CARPETS for nearest store. And remember, you can't buy better than Banner.
You can start sleeping better tonight and pay nothing for 6 months. No money down, no interest, nothing. Sun Valley Waterbeds is celebrating the opening of not 1, not 2, but 7 new showrooms in California with free financing for 6 months. Plus special low prices on our hottest styles. Just come to Sun Valley, pick out a comfortable new bed, and take it home today with no money down and no payments or interest for 6 months. But hurry, get free financing for a limited time only at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
Hello, I'm Christina Ferrari. No matter what skills you possess, they are needed, and KABC TV wants you to find out how you can put them to good use. Call the Volunteer Connection.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are in the kitchen, and right now we are going to sample something which we are calling, well, we're not calling, but Judy Zeidler is calling chocolate almond macaroons. Now, Judy is the author of the book called The Gourmet Jewish Cook. Here's Judy Zeidler. Okay.
Hi, Judy. Nice to
Get over the macaroons. I eat macaroons. It takes me back to when I was a kid, you know?
Well, this is not like the regular macaroon.
Okay.
This is for chocolate lovers.
Oh, this is not like a macaroon.
No.
Where's the coconut?
No coconut.
You know how good that is? Because coconut is high cholesterol stuff.
These are just wonderful.
Oh, this is good. Here.
Thanks.
We're eating first, I know, folks. Sorry. But
well, let me tell you what's in them.
What's in them?
Okay.
And by the way, Laura,
Delicious.
be careful.
Yes.
Laura is an incredibly inept cook.
Well,
and
this is
It's true. The truth is out.
This is so easy, and it's fun to make it with somebody. I'm going to put you to work in a minute.
Okay.
It calls for 11 egg whites. Only egg whites. You can throw away the egg yolks or save them for another dish. 3 cups of sugar. It seems like a lot, but you get about 30 macaroons out of it, so you really aren't getting that much sugar intake. 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, and I use the bitter cocoa.
Bitter.
Sometimes when you see a recipe and it says cocoa powder, you wonder whether it's the sweet, but this is the bitter. 3/4 cup powdered sugar, sometimes
Why
called
powdered?
confectioner sugar.
Why?
Oh, it just makes it fluffier.
So you've got sugar and you've got sugar.
You've got sugar and then you've
These
got...
are not low calorie,
No,
you're telling us.
No, they're not low calorie, but you're not going to eat that many. 2 tablespoons.
Maybe not.
Is that an order?
Well, when you taste the chocolate and the gooey part, you're just going to like them, but...
They're wonderful.
Okay. 2 tablespoons of apricot jam, and apricot and chocolate is such a wonderful combination. That's my little secret to these cookies.
Apricot and chocolate. All
Apricot
right.
and chocolate.
That'll keep you active all day.
2 teaspoons vanilla extract. You can use almond because you've got the almonds in the cookies, but if you have vanilla, by all means use the vanilla. 4 cups of almonds, and they're sliced, and I get them in the package that way. They look so perfect, but you just pour the package out and that's it.
The recipe, by the way, will be on the AM hotline if you don't get it all down right now. Okay, now let's
so
go to work.
Easy. Okay, let's go to work. I'm going to put you to work because...
Here, for you.
Oh,
Steve, you almost got a producer's hand.
Okay. You want to beat up the egg whites.
Are you angry with it?
And I really suggest that if you have an electric mixer, use the mixer.
How am I doing?
No. Beat it, beat it, beat it. Oh, there you go. Okay. And we're going to add the sugar.
Remember the song Whisk Again like we did last summer? Okay.
No, like this. Okay.
Show her how.
Me? Yes,
You show whisk her. Go ahead.
And
whisk her.
while you're doing that, I'm going to slip over here. And
how long do I do this?
And
Saturday.
Oh no, to keep doing it, it has to get really, really
This is good exercise.
stiff. Now what you want to do is sift the powdered sugar and the cocoa together and just set that aside. And while you're beating that up, there you go. You can use the other kind of sifter, but this is just so easy. Okay, then how you doing?
I don't know, you tell me.
Keep going, keep going. We're gonna put the apricot.
You thought anchoring the news was tough,
2
huh?
tablespoons.
Yeah, this is a workout.
And here goes the vanilla. And then the thing that really makes it thick are the almonds. So you just keep putting the almonds in. Wait, we forgot the cocoa powder.
Oh, please.
Okay, here you go. So while you're beating, keep beating.
Okay.
Keep beating.
You know, we really...
She's staying on me. She's not going to
really, well, we like to cook together at home, my husband and I, and so it's always nice to either invite a friend.
Do you have children? Do you cook
yes,
with them?
Yes, we do.
I'm
There
making
you
a
go.
mess here.
Okay, no, you're not. That's
Okay.
perfect. Keep going.
Go,
Keep
hey,
going.
come on. Come on.
There you go.
How many miles have I gone so far?
I don't know, but the degree of difficulty is 3.1.
Yes.
And see how gooey and thick it's getting?
Well, you tried, Steve. It's getting thick now.
No, you're doing a good job. I am very proud of you, Laura.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Yes.
Now let me show you the finished product.
Okay.
Well, this is what that batter ends up. See how
Becomes this.
sticky and nice it is? And what I do is...
First you have to do
Bet
this.
you that batter's
You gotta-
good.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Batter's great. Batter up.
Sometimes the batter's the best part.
You can use either parchment or just the market bag brown paper. And you can use a spoon. I like to use an ice cream scooper.
Oh, this is the fun part. So you can.
And this is the fun part.
Can I
Right.
scoop one for you?
Okay.
And once you
This
scoop
is
it,
quite thick.
Yes, it's quite thick.
once you scoop it, you take it and you put it in the oven for what and for how long?
250 degrees for 45 minutes.
And Laura doesn't
seems-
have to keep whisking while it's in the
No,
oven.
she doesn't have to.
Okay.
These are just really, really a wonderful recipe, and you see how easy they are to
Yeah,
make.
beautiful. I think I could handle this.
Okay, the book is called The Gourmet Jewish Cook, and these are the fruits of the recipe. Would you?
We already know these taste good.
We'll be back with Kitty Carlisle. Thank you, Judy Zeidler. Thanks for being with us.
Every Thursday night after work, I do my shopping at Albertsons. Been doing it for years. I can run in, buy all my groceries, and still save money. I depend on it. Sure, I've heard all the talk about one supermarket buying another, but Albertsons isn't merging with anybody. So I don't have to worry about how it's going to affect food prices. I can find all the low prices I need just by walking in here.
Albertsons. We think like you do.
Whatever your hairstyle, Long-Aid has your look.
Now there's a better way to keep your carpets and upholstery clean and fresh. May Company brings you the Power Steamer by Bissell. You can own it yourself and deep clean your carpets or upholstery rent-free anytime you like. The Power Steamer shoots a warm cleaning solution, while powerful suction pulls the liquid and dirt back out. Gets carpeting deep down clean, yet fast pickup action won't soak carpet or upholstery. So don't rent. Own your own Bissell Power Steamer and get the deep cleaning results you'd expect from a professional. Only $179.99 now at May Company.
You're weird. I'm weird?
In a place called Mystic, three couples are learning falling in love
Married.
can be funny, infuriating, frustrating,
I'm telling you that I love you.
frightening,
Why does it hurt so much?
and the best thing that ever happened to them. Experience the year's most romantic comedy, Mystic Pizza, rated R.
Major Studio Sneak Preview Saturday, October 15th at 8 p.m.
If you're between the ages of 16 and 21 and want free job training, call the National Job Corps Alumni Association toll free at 1-800-424-2866.
Tomorrow, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Our next guest is certainly very, very well known to you, and it is time to introduce our next guest, but there seems to be a little confusion about who our next guest really is. So would our next guest please introduce herself?
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
Now, Kitty Carlisle is truly a star. She first appeared on Broadway in Champagne Sec. Her movies included She Loves Me Not with Bing Crosby and A Night at the Opera with the Marx Brothers. She, of course, will always be remembered as a panelist for 23 years on To Tell the Truth. So now, will the real Kitty Carlisle please stand up? Manny, how are you?
Delighted to see you.
Hi, nice to see you.
Very nice to meet you.
Good to have
Thank you.
And we want to thank the other two Kitty Carlisles for being with
Yes,
us.
indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now get back to your seats. Okay. Well, how many years did you do that show?
Almost 23 years.
There are people for whom that show was around every moment of their existence.
That's right. And a lot of kids grew up watching it, and an awful lot of foreigners learned English watching shows on television.
Did it give them a strange view of what to say in English? For instance, hello, my name is Joe. My name is Joe. My name is Joe.
I don't think
They're very confused to this day.
That probably started as a lark, doing that show.
It did. It started for fun because my husband wanted me to go into New York once a week. We were in the country for the summer. And when Mark Goodson asked me to look at the show and see if I wanted to be on it, I didn't understand really what it was all about or think it was such a much. And my husband said to me, it'd be good for you, darling. You can go into town once a week and you can bring back the groceries, the mail, the kosher franks, the cleaning, whatever the household needs.
Whatever you needed,
the
yes.
macaroons by all means.
Yes.
And so I started doing it, and then I realized it was a wonderful show, and I was on it for nearly 23
Kitty,
years.
let me ask you, look back on To Tell the Truth in its real version, which lasted for so long. There are a couple of other versions later on, and other shows from that era. The shows seemed to be a little more literate.
They were.
A little more, at least, middle brow.
They were.
Why the difference? Why the change?
Well, you want my honest opinion?
Please,
I think the taste of the public and the taste of the people who are doing the shows has gone down. And I think that they're pandering to a much younger audience and a less literate audience, a less educated audience.
And you say that with a sense of sadness?
Oh, I think it's terrible, and I wish they'd put all those shows back. I loved doing it. It was fun, and such funny things happened on the show. You know, marvelous anecdotes that I can remember with such joy. We once had on 3 men in gorilla suits. It was about the time of the remake of King Kong. And so I didn't know what to ask a man in a gorilla suit. But I suddenly had an idea, and you will see that the man I asked was either from the Bronx or maybe Brooklyn. And I said, number 3, how do gorillas breed? And he said, through the nose.
Well, there was also a story. I don't know if you can tell that here or not. Wait a minute. Let me think this through.
I was thinking about that myself.
That same story.
I don't think so.
You know the one I'm talking about.
I do.
Wasn't that great, though?
It's a great story, but we
what
can't
a
tell
story. Just listen, imagine this story at home was
Do you
incredible.
think I should tell
We'll tell
it?
you later.
I'll tell it.
Go ahead, tell
I'll
it.
tell
You
it.
can get away with it.
I'll try.
Okay.
Well, we had 3 ladies on who were champion bowlers. And I didn't understand
That's the story, folks. Yes.
why a champion bowler was anything special because she was a woman. But I had an idea, so I looked up and I said, number 2, how heavy are the men's balls? Well, I looked around at the panel, and I was sitting there all alone. They'd gone right under the desk.
And,
Disappeared, huh?
and of course, the answer was through the nose.
Kitty, even though most of us know you from To Tell the Truth, you led quite an adventurous life. I read about you in your book, and your mother dragged you all over Europe when you were a small child because she wanted you to be placed in the proper place in society.
She wanted me to make what she considered a suitable marriage, which was well above my station.
Were you ever angry about that, or did you ever think, gosh, Mom, you're pushing me too hard?
I think all children feel that mom's pushing them too hard when they're pushing, and my mother was quite a pusher. But in the end, she said, when we lost what little money we had, she said, if you go on the stage, we'll find the husband we're looking for on the stage.
On the stage.
And she was right. I found my love on the stage.
You had a fabled marriage with Moss Hart,
Yes.
and he's actually been gone since 1961.
That's
but
right.
you've done a remarkable thing that even through your own energy and your love for the guy, it's sort of like he's still around.
That's right.
You keep him around all the time.
I intend to, and I want to, because he wrote the best theatrical autobiography ever written, which was Act One.
How did you feel, by the way, when the movie came out and George Hamilton,
Please.
George Hamilton played your husband, Moss Hart. What was...
Oh,
George is a
Well,
friend
I'm
of
very
ours.
fond of George.
Yes.
But I did try to buy the movie to get it off the air. So that's how I felt about it.
Is that right?
But it was too expensive.
You know who played Cary Grant in that movie? Bert Convy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And let's see, who played George Kaufman?
Jason Robards.
Jason Robards.
And George Siegel was in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of good
Obviously,
people
I've
were in
seen
it, yes.
yeah. When you met Moss, you decided this is the guy for me.
Well, I thought, why doesn't he marry me? He's not married. I'm not married.
Makes sense.
I adore his work. I love the way he looks. We now have no entanglements. It would have been perfect. It took him 8 years to get the seeing eye.
Did you trick him into it?
Well, no, I listened him into it. I met him at a party at Lillian Hellman's after all those years, and I knew he'd been to the South Pacific with his play, The Man Who Came to Dinner, to entertain the troops. I figured he'd been out home for a while, and maybe his friends had all heard his stories and were tired of them. So I looked up at him. He was sitting next to me at one point in the evening, and I said, "Morse, tell me about your trip to the South Pacific."
And that did it.
And we were married 8 months later.
That's a trip to live by. Kitty's story is indeed the stuff of a novel, but it is a real book, and here it is, Kitty by Kitty Carlisle Hart. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kitty.
Great pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be back with our Country Full Fashion Show in just a moment. AM wants you to be part of our audience, and that's the truth. For free tickets, just call 213-660-2244.
How can you tell when you need help with a troubled teenager? Look for warning signs like dramatic change in appearance, rebellion, drugs, withdrawal, depression, maybe even talk of suicide. If you think your teen is in trouble, Charter can help. We offer real solutions to your family's problems.
Call Charter Oak Hospital in Covina or Charter Pacific Hospital in Torrance.
If you've ever driven one of these, you'll appreciate how expensive it can be to fill one up. But you might be surprised to find how much less it costs to fill one up at Ralph's and the Giant. Because with our unlimited double coupons, thousands of price reductions, and everyday low prices, our customers can drive home with lower food bills. And maybe that's why so many shoppers are trading in their wagons for ours. Change for the better to Ralph's and the Giant.
Nothing's better than American cooking. And America's cooking with Wesson.
Let's eat. Don't miss Aunt Betty's chicken.
So crispy.
Great.
Juicy, too. Really good.
Wow. Homemade fries. I can't imagine what she does to make these things so light. Save room for pie.
You ought to visit us more often, Charlie. Oh, what a meal.
America's cooking with all natural Wesson. Vegetable, corn, and sunflower oils. With every bite, you know you're frying right.
Last year, 60% of all suspects arrested had organized crime ties. Why do they keep wearing those ties?
Don Amici, Joe Mantegna. One of these men is going to pose as a mafia boss.
I do it.
Nobody is to know that Mr. Johnson is here.
A good friend of ours from Chicago, Mr. Johnson, will you please stand up?
It's a hilarious look at disorganized crime.
I'm gonna hotwire the car. How do you hotwire the car?
Things change.
Just when things were going so well.
Rated PG. Starts Friday, October 21st at select theaters.
Hi, I'm Deborah Shemish. If you're fighting cancer like I am, call the wellness community where you can learn to understand your cancer and fight for your recovery.
Tomorrow, Henry Kissinger. Welcome back. La Cage aux Folles was originally a non-musical production, became a musical and a big hit all over the country. It was a hit movie in a non-musical form. Now it's going to become a movie musical. Very confusing, but people obviously really sparked to the theme, a very touching theme in La Cage aux Folles. With us right now, before we see the fashions from La Cage aux Folles, one of the stars of production, Brian Green. Hello, Brian.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, nice to see you.
Now, this production is down in Long Beach.
At Pacific Light Opera.
At Pacific Light Opera. And, you know, when you do a show that's been done, you usually set yourself up for some fairly negative reviews. And we were going through the reviews, and I was happy for you guys.
Yeah, we had great ones.
Positive.
Yeah, because you always have to live up to the memory of what people saw before, and sometimes and a memory is tough to deal with. Now you play
Jean-Michel, the son.
The son. So you get to dress kind of
normal.
Normal.
Preppy, yuppie, sweaters, button-downs.
Kind of boring in this show for you.
Comparatively speaking, I think so.
Are you upstaged by these fellas? We're gonna see.
Just a little.
Supposed to be.
Just for a moment until I do something.
Well, of course, the theme of what really is a very touching relationship in a kind of unreal world for most of us is what makes this musical special. We're going to take a look at some of the people who are in this show, and you'll tell us who they are and what they do and whatever. So here we go.
Great. First down the ramp, we have Mercedes, age before beauty. She's a veteran Kajal. She's also known as the War Horse. Mercedes is played by Bill Bateman.
Hello, Bill.
Hi, Bill. Bill is wearing a pink and purple gown decorated with strings of pearls, many pearls. This dress features a unique halo design with layers and layers of ruffles to hide Mercedes' double chins.
Hey, Bill, it's okay, nothing personal.
This gown, I'm told, was inspired by a painting of Elizabeth I. And also, they tell me that Bill's corset was designed by NASA. I don't know if that's true.
For NASA, the corset?
Yeah, because
it's going into space?
Something like that.
It's in orbit.
It's covering space.
Soon. Look at this outfit. It's going to be up there pretty soon.
It's going to make a landing soon.
Each of these gowns cost about $20,000 each.
Wow.
Next down the ramp, we have Derma, the beautiful one.
Is this stuffed Derma or just Derma?
Dermabrasion, I think they say.
Dermabrasion, thank you.
Derma is played by Kevin Backstrom. Kevin's gown is blue, pink, satin with a huge pink bow in the back. Turn around and let him see it. Yeah. Little sequin bows add to the overall glamour of the costume. Derma is supposed to be the smart one, right?
See that intelligence.
It takes the guys about 2.5 hours to get ready before the show with all the makeup and
pantyhose and all that?
Pantyhose, yeah, they have like 2 or 3 layers to hide the hair on their legs. And
2.5 hours to get ready. How long to get it off? 2 minutes?
2 hours?
Oh my.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
I thought it was tough for me to get ready in the morning. This
Yeah.
really
These guys
takes-
have a lot more to cover up, I think, than you do.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Next we have Lo Sing, the shy and seductive one. She's the Asian Kajal, played by John Sharon. John is wearing this pink and blue gown with fans and flowers that flutter and flutter. It really is nice, isn't it? The gowns are hand-painted, and all the beads and spangles add up to about $400,000.
These costumes are not light. They look quite heavy.
In the whole production, $400,000.
$400,000. Just on beads and
By the way,
spangles.
Christina will be wearing this at our softball game.
Looking terrific.
You couldn't run in it. No way.
And yes, the gowns do weigh about 40 to 60 pounds. So these guys have to be pretty strong underneath all this to carry the weight. And the shoes are designed.
Can we see the shoes?
I don't know. Do you have shoes on with that? Let's see.
Hold up your whatever. Yeah.
They're pretty big shoes.
Hold it there for a moment. We're getting there. We're getting there. There you are. There it is.
All right. No sequins on the shoes today.
I wonder what size those are.
13.5. They also call them Snow White, I guess because of the wig. I don't know. Backstage they call them Snow White.
Size 13.5 shoe.
Probably.
Little larger than mine.
A little bit.
Last but not least, Hannah from Hamburg. She's more often seen with a whip than this costume. She usually wears leather in the show. Men call her diva, women call her devil, and the police call her daily. Hannah is played by Jeffrey Cornell.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Jeff's dress has a distinctively European flair.
Hey, Jeff, it's pretty exciting. You get to do this twice today, now and tonight for the show, huh?
He can't wait.
All that work.
Yeah.
It really is a chore. The wigs cost about $3,000 a piece. The costumes and the wigs come from London, from the London company of Lacage.
Does it take a long time for them to learn how to put them on and go through all the steps?
Yeah, they have a training session before, in fact.
Lacage Forward is at the Long Beach Civic Light Opera. Great reviews. We want to thank Brian Green for being with us. We want to thank all the people from the show. Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Weekly specials at some supermarkets may look exciting, but in a few days, they're gone. At Lucky, we offer you substantial savings on over 1,200 key buys every day. And most key buys are good for over 3 weeks with no quantity limits. Our Dare to Compare price survey number 10 proved once again, key buys help keep Lucky the low price leader. Hot weekly specials burn out fast, but Lucky key buys are built to last.
What kind of fish goes crunch?
What kind of fish is fun too much? What kind of fish do we love a bunch? Gotta be bunch of crunch.
When you're fishing for a really big crunch, crunch into some Bunch of Crunch. It's the fish stick from Freenor that tastes as good as it sounds. And it sounds pretty good.
Let's munch a bunch of crunch.
Also new from Freenor, Bunch of Crunch microwave fish sandwiches.
You may think a waterbed isn't for you, but Sealy thinks it is. Introducing the Sealy Posturepedic Waterbed at Sun Valley. Built to Sealy's high-quality standards, lightweight, waveless, with comfort features that'll give you a better night's sleep, like separate his and hers firmness control. And right now at Sun Valley, all Sealy Posturepedic Waterbeds are $100 off, with no money down, no payments, and free financing for 6 months. Plus, we'll give you a free bed frame and free delivery, only at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
Smelly, rotten mildew stains? Try 1, 2, 3 sprays of Tilex against 1 spray of X14. In minutes, the X14 side is dramatically cleaner, without scrubbing. X14, it's better.
For generations, people have reaped the lush harvest of the Sacramento Valley, including the finest rice in California. The rice is Hinodi, grown by families like these, for families like yours.
Hi, this is Steve Edwards. If you have it in your heart to help other people, but you don't know how to go about it, please call the Volunteer Connection, and they'll tell you how. Thank you. Monday, Patty B. Welcome back. Joe Graydon is a man who's, he's kind of like the Lone Ranger. What he does is he goes from town to town and he clears out the bad guys when it comes to what's in your medicine chest, and people get angry with him and you leave and you go to the next town. The pharmaceutical companies are angry with you very, very often, and sometimes they're very happy with you.
That's right.
Over the years, he's written several books. He has a new book out called 50 Plus, The Graydon's People's Pharmacy for Older Adults. So now you've covered the entire spectrum. Welcome here to Joe Graydon.
Thank you.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
What we really are dealing with here is not specifically problems that people over 50 encounter. These are problems that people encounter.
Everyone. Doesn't matter what your age. When it comes to sexuality, oftentimes couples have a hard time matching up their desire. You know, she says, gosh, she's a couch potato. I'm feeling romantic, and all he wants to do is watch the game.
Yeah, well, wait a minute, the game.
Last night it was okay.
Right, last night. But it's all the rest of the year that's not so nice, or the late night news. And the problem is that it may not be just your libido, your sex drive, your natural inclination. It may be your medicine chest that's mucking up your sex life.
Well, that's an interesting observation, because until recent years, one always thought that problem in the sex drive was a problem up here in the brain. It was an emotional problem or a mental problem. It may be pharmaceutical.
Absolutely. We used to say, oh, the woman is castrating, or the man really is just not as interested as he should be. It was because of his mother. Well, in fact, it may be the medicine that the doctor has prescribed for his ulcer. For example, a drug like Tagamet can affect you sexually, reduce your interest or perhaps your ability to perform if you're a man. Elavil is another antidepressant. This one is kind of fascinating. This is Nardeal. It's an antidepressant, and it can take away a woman's enjoyment of sex. Her orgasms may literally disappear after about 2 weeks on this medication.
And people buy this?
Well, if you're very depressed, yes, your doctor may prescribe it, but the trouble is that doctors don't like to talk about sex. They feel a little nervous. They think if they mention it, well, you'll experience impotence. Or
so they don't mention the side effects.
Is this in the literature? And one should always read the literature when taking medicine, but one doesn't.
I wish it were more in the literature.
It is in the literature.
Is it in the fine print where you really have to hunt for it?
Well, sometimes it's not even there. Even birth control pills, for example, can affect a woman's aggressiveness sexually. And something like Provera, which is often given to women along with estrogen, even over-the-counter medications, such as a cold remedy like this one, Who would ever think a cold remedy, an over-the-counter medication, or an antihistamine for your allergies that makes you drowsy would affect your libido?
Joe, this surprises me a little bit because right now people think a lot about their health. You see people eating healthfully and I would think using less medication. Is that not true?
Oh, I think people are very concerned about their health, but when it comes to sex, who really writes it down on the calendar? Oh yes, twice a week, every week, I've been keeping track here, and now it's down to twice a month. We aren't always as tuned into our bodies sexually. We may think it's just getting older. That's why we aren't as interested as we used to be, when in fact it may be one of these medicines.
A question that is often asked, as you get older, do you lower your expectations in terms of your sexuality, or do you not?
You don't need to. There's nothing that says your love life can't be better when you're over 60. The trick is to get in tune with your body, know if your medicine is having a negative effect, and then negotiate with your doctor, because there are so many drugs that don't have a negative
If
effect.
your doctor is uncomfortable dealing with you about areas involving sexuality, do you get another doctor?
You're darn right, because your sexuality is as important to your quality of life as any other aspect.
All right, these are things that could be having some kind of negative effect on your sex life. When we come back in a moment, go to the flip side, the positive side. There are things that you can take that will enhance your sex life, including one that scares the daylights out of me. So we'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Daryl, more pecani sauce.
Here you go.
This ain't Pace pecani sauce.
So?
Pace is made with fresh vegetables and spices by folks in San Antonio who know what pecani sauce should taste like. This stuff's made in New York City.
New York City! That really chaps my hide.
Pick up the original.
Pick up the Pace.
Don't get me wrong, Madge. I love him dearly, but sometimes he is just so out there. Yesterday, I asked him to stop at Thrifty on the way home and get some Oscal 500. See, I figure if I take a calcium supplement now, I won't look like a rocking chair when I'm 65. So, I write it down on a little note. Oscal 500 milligram and Oscal 500 plus D, bottle of 60 for $4.79 at Thrifty. And then he goes off and leaves the note. Boy, sometimes he is such a cadet.
There are a lot of propositions on the November ballot. How do we sort them out? Well, for one thing, Prop P means police. Up to $120 million for new police, paid for with earmarked royalties from the Palisades Inland Energy Project. That's new police without new taxes. Prop P means new police to fight drugs, new police to crack down on gangs, new police when our city desperately needs them. Vote yes on new police. Yes on Prop P.
Hormel Chili would like to take a good look at our competition. There's Sonia Steiner of Dry Gulch, Texas, Cliff Benson of Studebaker, California, and Lucy Zipkin of Ripasa Pass, Wyoming. You see, at Hormel, we outsell all other chili companies, and now our real competition is you, the good chili cooks of America. So we salute our competition. But one word of caution, we're gaining on you. Hormel Chili, the next best thing to homemade.
Care for them by caring for yourself. Control your blood pressure.
Treat your high blood pressure. Treat yourself right. Come on.
Joe Graydon, whose book, The People's Pharmacy, sold probably 10 million copies or whatever.
Millions.
Now has a book out called 50 Plus, The Graydon's People Pharmacy for Older Adults. But what we're talking about now are drugs that you can take that will enhance or perhaps even save your libido or your sex life. Okay, either one.
Well, ever since, I guess, humans discovered sex, they've been looking for an aphrodisiac, right? Ground up rhinoceros tusk.
Spanish fly.
Spanish fly, which is very dangerous. Crocodile kidneys were at one time considered really hot stuff.
I have them every Thursday before a long weekend.
Weekly menu, right?
Yes.
Tomatoes, bananas, artichokes, all kinds of foods were supposed to liven you up. And unfortunately, nothing worked. There are some products that you can buy. For example, this one is called Mr. Big.
What a name.
We won't go into any details on whether it works or not, but the reality is that there now truly is.
It's either a sexual aid or a toilet bowl cleaner, right? Come on, Mr. Big.
Well, now there really is something, after all these centuries, that may actually have a profound influence on many people's sexual activity.
And member size?
Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
Be patient. This is the drug.
There.
The drug in question is a prescription drug. It's an antidepressant called Wellbutrin. Brand name, Wellbutrin, generic bupropion. Not on the market yet, but expected to be there in about a year or perhaps a little bit less. Not only can it perhaps pep up your sex drive and reduce your depression, some people actually lose weight on this drug. It does have a few side effects, but the one that most sex therapists are excited about is the sexual stimulation. People are much more interested
Wait a second.
in.
We have a drug, pardon me, a drug here that'll help you lose weight and increase your sex drive?
And relieve your depression.
And raise your IQ?
No, it won't make you smarter.
Whoever came up with this is a millionaire
Somebody's
overnight.
very wealthy, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
this drug could become very big.
Yeah.
There is a drug that's on the market right now called Desirel that in some women does seem to also stimulate sexuality. Desirel. Antidepressant as well, but it does cause some drowsiness, so you might run into the problem of falling asleep before you had a chance to enjoy the benefits.
Kind of ruins the whole purpose, right?
By the way, if you smoke a cigarette afterwards, does it... No, never mind. No,
Forget
okay,
that.
all right.
One other thing, yohimbine, an ancient African herbal product, has also been demonstrated to improve some men's ability to perform sexually to relieve impotence. But speaking of impotence, let's get to what is perhaps the most exciting development in recent years. Again, experimental. This is papaverine. It is injected directly into the penis. It produces an erection in about 10 seconds.
Steve is beside himself here.
And it lasts from about 1 to 2 hours, although there have been cases of 24 to 36 hours, which is dangerous.
Yes.
And it needs emergency treatment.
Why would it be easier to be a Trappist monk than do this?
Well, for men who cannot experience sex, this is a life.
And I'm having a kind of funny reaction to what is a very sensitive problem.
It is very sensitive.
Very serious.
But
10 million men.
But to the thought of, honey, I'll be with you in a moment. Okay.
What about pain and cost?
Well, there are some side effects, but it's not an expensive drug. It has to be administered under a urologist's supervision.
Your urologist has to come to your home every time you
to
have
get
sex?
you started.
No, I was going to say, no one makes house calls.
Get the right dose.
Middle of the night.
Okay, 50 plus, the Graydon's People Pharmacy for older adults. We thank Joe Graydon for being with us. We'll be right back. Thank you, Joe. Tuesday, Donna Pesco.
This pasta will stay good for a year in your freezer. This dried linguine will outlast most marriages. And this will probably survive the next ice age. On the other hand, Contadina fresh pastas and sauces won't last very long at all. We make them fresh, and we keep them fresh, which naturally gives them a great fresh taste. Contadina fresh pastas and sauces. Our days are numbered, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
If you like chicken, you'll love Alpha Beta's everyday low prices on Foster Farms chicken.
And this week, the prices are even lower during our terrific chicken sale.
We've cut the price on Foster Farms cut-up fryers to 89 cents a pound. Tender, juicy whole fryers are just 59 cents a pound.
And lots more chickens on sale, but only through Sunday. So come on in and check out the difference.
Check out the difference at Alpha Beta.
Oil drilling is usually safe, but accidents do happen.
Controller Gray Davis against Occidental Petroleum's oil drilling scheme.
Occidental wants to drill 60 oil wells here, next to an earthquake fault. Last month, oil pipelines in the San Fernando Valley erupted twice, and in August, an oil rig exploded just up the coast. Thousands of kids use this beach. We can't afford to have an accident. Stop Occidental's oil drilling scheme. No on P, yes on O.
1983, San Francisco. Lake to Lake cheddar cheese is judged best in its class. 1986, Los Angeles. Again, Lake to Lake is judged best in its class. 1988, Lake to Lake introduces individually wrapped American singles, made with the same care as our championship cheeses. And once again, Lake to Lake is best in its class. New Lake to Lake American singles.
Hello, I'm Christina Ferrari. KABC TV believes that the person who cares about others and wants to give is the right person for volunteering. Call the Volunteer Connection.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Big.
He's got it.
You can see La Cage aux Folles at the Long Beach Civic Light Opera, which we said before, through October 23rd. For information, we have the ticket information on the hotline. Tomorrow, Jesse Jackson will be here, Henry Kissinger, and an answer to Will I Be Happy? And Laura will be here. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Limousine and protective services provided by West Coast Protective, worldwide since 1922, located in North Hollywood.
Steve's Wardrobe provided by Rick Powers and Sherman Oaks. Find menswear with style, service, and value.